Good day everyone, my name is Nic-Nic Corimo and for today's video I'm going to talk about the life cycle of an animal. So animals like insects go through life cycle. Most insects go through 3 or 4 stages during their life cycle. The change an insect goes through during its life is called metamorphosis. All insects begin as eggs. During the stages after the egg stage known as larva stage, many insects look much different than they do as adults. As a larva, many insects eat huge amount of food. They grow larger and then enter a stage where they are not active. For some insects, this stage is spent inside a protective covering called a cocoon. Other insects spend this stage inside a hard case called chrysalis. When insects leave this stage of their life, as adult female and male insects meet. The female then lays eggs and the life cycle of many new insects begin. Animals begin life either from an egg or as a baby that is born ready for life. Baby animals grow and change into adolescents and eventually become adults. Adult animals look for a mate to begin the life cycle all over again with new babies. Each type of animals has their own unique life cycle. When babies are born or hatch from eggs, some look much like their parents like kitten and horses. Other baby animals look much different from their parents like tadpoles which will turn into a frogs. Animals that change dramatically during their life cycle go through metamorphosis. For example, a mother butterfly lays eggs that hatch into baby caterpillars. As the caterpillar grows bigger and bigger and eventually it is ready to transform into a butterfly. The change takes place inside a chrysalis where the caterpillar body changes into a butterfly. When the butterfly comes out of the chrysalis, it is ready to find a mate and lays eggs. Then the cycle can start all over again.
Everything has a beginning and end, and life is just a cycle of starts and stops. So good day everyone, I'm Cabunag and I'm going to tackle the life cycle of human. Fetus, the sperm from the adult male human and the egg from the adult female human, from a zygote inside the uterus of the female. Over the time, the zygote develops and forms an embryo. Initially, the embryo looks like a cluster of cells, but after 8 weeks, the embryo resembles the human's body and is called fetus. During this stage, the fetus is internally dependent on the female for breathing, eating, and other kinds of resources. Around 9 months, the fetus is fully developed to be born. This stage, human development marks the period from birth to age 1. Infancy is the earliest part of childhood, where the infant grows in size and shape. During this stage, infants requires a lot of attention as they are completely dependent on their mothers. Infants develop their behavior, psychology, and cognition. Gradually, the infants learn to suck, swallow, and cry if they are in a uncomfortable situation. Since infants are able to speak, crying is a way of communicating. The mother tends to breastfeed her infant during this stage. Toddler years. The term toddler means to walk unsteadily, and the child has a clumsy walk during this period. This stage marks the end of early childhood. During this period, the child ages 2 to 3 years old. This stage, child's life will undergo the eminent cognitive, emotional, and social development. Adolescence. The youngster in this situation is between the ages of 9 and 13, which is the start of puberty. During this stage, the youngster goes through puberty and develops into adolescence. Adolescents are also referred to as teens because puberty occurs in the early years of the teenager. The teenager is growing quickly at this point, and physical changes are starting to manifest. In addition to voice cracking in teenage males and breast growth and adolescent growth. These changes also include hair growth and abnormally changes in body structure. Because they execute daily duties with increased independence, the behavioral patterns also change. Adulthood humans begins who are between the age of 20 to 60 years are known as adults. Her humans begins are sexually mature and capable of reproducing. The body is fully developed by now. Middle age. This is the time period of adulthood between the age of 30 to 50 years. The term old people is used to describe people who are 60 to 65 years of age after the end of their lives. This time span begins at 65. Less nutrition from food sources is absorbed by the intestine during this phase. As a result, individuals are once again depending on outside assistance to do chores due to their diminished physical activity. Depending on the individual's immunity and lifestyle, the way that all people act this period varies. Humans have a range of 70 to 85 years for an average life expectancy, but depending on their way of life, is still varies.
Good day everyone, I am Comahig, and for today's discussion, we will talk about photosynthesis. Plants make food through a special process called photosynthesis. The word photosynthesis is a compound word made of a term of photo, which means light, and synthesis, which means put together, because that's what plants do. They use their own energy to make their own food. In order to photosynthesize, they need a part of air called carbon dioxide or CO2 and water or H2O. The plants will take the water from soil at the tip of the roots. A microscopic outgrowth called the root hair improve plant water condition by increasing the roots surface area, which allows the root hair cells to take their more water. Water moves through the xylem, through the stem, and through the leaves. It is the leaves that the most photosynthesis takes place. And remember that in order to photosynthesize, the plants also needs the CO2 or the air through a special openings called stomata, found mostly the underside of the leaves. The chlorophyll absorbs all important sunlight, which is used to convert carbon dioxide and water in a type of sugar called glucose. The glucose, along with the nutrients and minerals taken from are used by the plants for growth and survival. The process of photosynthesis also produces the gas oxygen. Most of the oxygen is released back in the air through the stomata.